Hi guys, how are you? So this is just a really kind of quick how-to on how I do my calligraphy, say for rock painting or anything like that. But I happen to be doing some on this particular wood slice that I painted this morning, so I said I'd record it and give you the glue. So I draw my pencil lines in the background. This will all rub out afterwards anyway, I don't go too light in the pencil. I write out my words, like again, there's nothing perfect about it. I kind of decide where I'm going to position them and my loops, and I pencil the whole lot in. And I mean, this mightn't even be the final shape. I might change as I'm painting, but I always pencil the whole lot in first so I have a fair idea about where I'm going. You can see some of the letters are going to go behind the wellies. That's my child talking in the background. The A, see, is right behind the butterfly, you can see there. And then the M comes next. Now I'm sure there are people out there that can do this much faster than I can, but this is what I do. And I would do the same on rocks. If I was doing it on a rock, I would do exactly the same thing. I'd pencil out first and then colour in. So keep going until you're happy with your pencil design. Once you're happy with the sketch that you've kind of made with your pencil, you can get out your colours and start painting. That's it. I was just checking there to make sure everything was kind of even as it goes across. Bring the L down underneath the line. And then I get my paints out. I'm using pure black there, natural black. My homemade fine liner. So that is basically a fine pen or a fine paintbrush that has been cut to be made finer. And I start lining out my letters. Kind of a rule of thumb that I tend to follow is that the letter is usually thicker on the downstroke and thinner on the upstroke. That's I read that somewhere once before, so I go with that idea in my head. I make it thinner on the downstroke and thicker on the downstroke and thinner on the upstroke. I move my piece around because I don't want to get paint all over myself. There's a pure prime example now of the thinner upstroke. Again, it's not about perfection, it's just whatever suits you, whatever you enjoy. This is actually, I like this calligraphy style. I've done this in a few different things recently. I just happen to like this particular style of writing. I must learn a new one. And then thicker on the downstroke. And remember to lift after every stroke that you do. Do lift. Don't just try to move on to the next colour or the next word letter. Give each one the kind of time that you need. Now bring the line for the A down below here. And then thicken up. Based on that, then I decide that isn't thick enough and I need to go thicker. It's all a game. Just chop and change as you go along until you're pleased enough with it. It's a slow process. I'm no expert at it. As I say, this is just how I do it. The paint I use is plaid folk art paint. It's really nice. It's a nice texture to it. It's not too wet. If I wanted it thinner than that, I would use a flow medium, something to help to make it flow. I think it's called a flow medium is what it's called. If I wanted it thicker, I'd leave it out for a few hours and it would thicken up in the air itself. When looking out this brush, it does come around nicely around corners. That's my dog. You can now hear saying hello. So we're just halfway through now. finishing up. This welly family I made for a family whose their eldest daughter is called Autumn, so that's why I gave her autumn coloured wellies. Just so cute. It's a beautiful name. They're very popular at the moment. I had actually done a painting tutorial or a painting video on this particular wood slice, but the bottom half of the wellies were cut out the whole way through the video, so though it's pointless showing it to you. Just go over it again until you're happy with the shapes, with the thickness. You can have it as thick or as thin as you want. The thinner you start off with, the thicker you can make it. You know, you can... And of course you can use like your Posca pens and things to do this, but I find on wood slices, sometimes the thinner Posca, or the wood slices like this especially, the pens tend to bleed, and bleeding is not all we want. Bleeding isn't nice. Just thickening up the ore there. What's your favourite season? Mine is autumn. It's my absolute favourite season. We got married in early October in the autumn, and my wedding flowers were autumn colours. They were oranges, reds, browns, green obviously. Our cake was the same colours. We had a chocolate biscuit cake and chocolate muffins and things. Oh, it was fabulous. Right, what I'm doing now is I'm picking out the shades of green that I want to use on either side of the words. It's just like a design on either side of the word, just to not fill in the blank space, but to kind of finish the piece, tie the whole lot all together. So I'm using the same colours as I've used down below in the grass. True green and a dark green of some sort. I don't even know what they're called. Again, they're folk art paints. Sketched out some lines. I'm going to kind of follow them. So I'm using a mixture of both paints. I want that effect, a mixture of both paints. I don't want it to be just a block of one colour green. And honestly, I prefer this side that I'm doing now than the other side. I think the shape of it turned out much nicer. But anyway. They don't need to be perfect, because what I do is I change each side a little bit so they're different. There is. Like I add and extend, so there you go. Yeah. So they don't need to be the same. If I want them to be the same, I'd have a little stencil or something that I would have made up in order to make them exactly the same and perfect. But I want them to be different. Now, I've picked up this little like brush to do these leaves in it, but usually I would use a slightly thicker brush to create the leaf part, or the vine extensions, whatever you want to call them. I got away with it. It looks nice, I think. This plaque has gone up on someone's wall in their house. I think that's lovely. And then add some to the other side. Changing directions. And yes, you can hear I'm a little teapot in the background. You're not imagining it. Just small little strokes. Bring it around. And then I add some little dots of green, just to embellish it. On both sides. Then I take out my apple red. I love this colour. A dotting tool. And I just dot some berries or flowers around it. You could turn them more into flowers if you want. I just left them berry shaped, seeing that it's near Christmas time. And that's it. That's how I do my calligraphy on my wood slices or rocks. I take a rubber then at the end of all this when the whole thing is dry, and I'll rub out all my pencil marks. I'm just going to show you here now, there's pencil in between there, but because it's wet I don't want to see. It does rub out. The end. Thanks for watching.